Enter Issei Hyoudou and his friends Matsuda and Motohama, who all attend a previously all-girls high school. There, they find themselves quite unpopular with the girls at Cool Academy, even though they are one of the only few boys around. One of their favorite pastimes is to peep on girls, and while checking out the kendo club, they get caught, but only Issei gets punished as the others run away. Afterwards, Rias Gremory, the crimson red-haired top idol of the academy and president of the Occult Research Club, discovers Issei and asks her vice president, Akino Himejima, about his identity. Eventually, as Issei dreams of having a girlfriend, another girl named Yuma Amano shyly asks him out, much to his excitement, so of course he agrees. Meanwhile, a girl working for Rias keeps tabs on him and reports back. Regardless, Issei and Yuma go on a date, and at the end of it, she suddenly asks Issei to perish for her sake. She then reveals herself as Rainier, a fallen angel, and she promptly finishes him. After Rainier ends a satisfied Issei, as he finally witnessed some melons, he sees a vision of Rias seemingly being summoned beside him. The next day, Issei wakes up at home and assumes the incident last night was just a dream, so he resumes his normal life. However, when Issei asks his friends about Yuma, they reply with having no recollection about who she is. At the same time, he discovers he has gained the ability to see in the dark and also developed increased strength at night. Confused, he heads home where he encounters another fallen angel, Donosik, who attacks him. Just as Donosik is about to finish off Issei, Rias and the girls intervene by saving him. The next morning, Issei discovers he and Rias are together in his bedroom. Reassuring that the dreams were real, she introduces herself as a devil and his new master. At the same time, his family finds out that Issei has become a man, and Rias explains to him that she used her magic to heal his wounds as she gets ready for school, and she also reveals that she is still a virgin. Regardless, at Cool Academy, the two end up walking together, much to the dismay of everyone else. During class, the school prince, Yudo Kiba, is sent to fetch Issei and leads him to the Occult Research Club, where he meets the popular mascot girl, Kameko Tuju, and the club's long-haired black ponytailed devil, Vice President Akino Himejima. As the club welcomes him in, Rias briefs Issei on the current situation with angels, fallen angels, and devils, and the duties now assigned to him in this three-way battle for dominance. She also explains how Yuma was actually real, even though his friends don't remember her due to her erasing their memories. Nevertheless, Issei is now reborn as a member of House Rias Gremory, a high-ranking devil. As such, he is tasked with his first assignment and speedily completes a delivery as he's motivated to have harem. Afterwards, he heads to another mission involving an otaku who wanted a devil to cosplay with. After completing the task, Issei encounters another fallen angel named Kala Warner, but he uses his sacred gear to transform his hand into an armored dragon arm and defeats her. Shortly afterwards, Rias warns Issei that since he has revealed the sacred gear, he will be sought after by the fallen angels. The next day, Issei encounters a blonde beauty named Asha Argento, who happens to be a nun. As he helps her out find her way around the town, she reveals her powers by healing a wounded boy. As thanks for helping her, she invites him to accompany her to the church, but he refuses, and Asha still invites him to visit her whenever. Back with Rias, she informs him that even just setting foot inside a church would cause trouble for both gods and devils. She also sternly warns him that he could get devil purged, which would leave him utterly annihilated with no hope of surviving. At the occult club, Akino reveals that a stray devil has been spotted in town, so the group assembles and teleports to the supposed location. The stray devil then appears, who's named Visor. Visor attacks using cannons from body parts that can't be shown on YouTube, so go use your imagination. Nevertheless, Rias starts explaining the roles of the other devils, starting with Yuto as a knight, Kaneko as her rook, Akino as the queen who finishes a Visor, and finally herself as the king. After the battle, Issei asks what about him, and she replies by saying he's a pawn, the lowest ranking of them all. Issei then heads off to another assignment, but is met with an unannounced visitor, ruthless exorcist Fried Selzen, who introduces himself and swiftly attacks him. However, Asha is revealed to be working for Fried, who witnesses the incident and attempts to stop Fried from ending Issei. Regardless, Issei attacks Asha as well, causing Issei to finally get up to protect her. Suddenly, a demon magic circle appears and the gang shows up to rescue him. Unfortunately, they leave Asha behind, much to the dismay of Issei. Back at the occult club, Rias heals Issei up and reveals that Fried is actually a stray angel, much like a stray devil, with the exception that they lower themselves to become the servants of fallen angels. Now realizing how truly weak he is, Issei attempts to get stronger and goes to train in a park, but he encounters Asha once again. Afterwards, they grab a bite to eat at a burger joint and proceed to go on a date where Issei even wins her a stuffed animal. Asha also fully heals the rest of his wounds, and she begins telling her story of her past, where she became an excommunicated nun from the church due to her healing a wounded devil. With no friends anymore, Issei vows to be her friend regardless of him being a devil. Suddenly, the two are interrupted by Rainier, who's on a mission to bring back a runaway Asha. As Rainier and Issei attempt to battle, he gets easily defeated, and Rainier reveals that Asha's twilight healing is even more rare than Issei's sacred gear. As such, Asha agrees to go with Rainier to prevent Issei from being injured any further. After reporting what happened to Rias, he asks to be released from Highschool Gremory, but she explains that him being a pawn gives him the special ability called promotion, allowing him to gain all the powers of the others. Regardless, Issei still heads out to free Asha alone, but both Kiba and Kaneko follow him after having understood Rias' message. As Rias and Akino deal with a fallen angel called Mitelt, the others storm into a sanctuary containing Freed. There, the trio battles Freed, and Kiba unleashes his sword of Holy Eraser, which devours light. Meanwhile, other fallen angels begin to appear alongside Mitelt, causing Akino to transform, where she places a barrier to prevent the angels from escaping. Back in the sanctuary, Issei finds Asha chained to a cross where Rainier is about to complete her ritual of stealing Asha's sacred gear, Twilight Healing. Rainier then removes Asha's sacred gear and puts it onto herself, claiming she will now become this supreme fallen angel. Regardless, the trio continue their assault towards Asha, but when Issei finally gets to the top, Rainier unchains her as she falls onto his arms as Asha is seemingly soon ended. Suddenly, Kaneko and Kiba protects him from an attack as he attempts to carry Asha to safety. They then urge him to hurry and escape, but a tearful Issei asks them to promise that they'll call him Issei from now on, since they're all friends. As Issei escapes out of the basement of the sanctuary, Asha thanks him for everything before perishing. Rainier then mocks him by asking why a devil is making a confession inside a church. Meanwhile, Rias becomes angry and easily dispatches the other fallen angels. Back at the sanctuary, Issei channels the power of his emotions, but is still no match for Rainier. However, with his resolve stronger than ever, devil wings appear on his back, shocking Rainier. Finally, he grabs onto an escaping Rainier and punches her out of the window. After the ordeal, it's revealed that Rias is actually the ruined princess and empress of annihilation. She then explains to Rainier that Issei's sacred gear is not just a simple one, but one that is able to allow him to transcend the power of God and Satan momentarily. A defeated Rainier then changes into her human form and begs Issei to help her, but to no avail, only for her to still be ended by Rias. Fortunately, they reclaim Asha's twilight healing, and Rias ends up reviving her as a bishop under the Gremory household. The next day, Issei asks Rias if she's going to add any more pawns, just like in chess, but she explains that with his potential, she had to use all 8 pieces to revive him. Meanwhile, Asha gets jealous as she witnesses how close the two get. The next day, confused Issei is wondering why a female's garments is laying out in the club room. Kaneko then clubs him with a lobster, claiming it's a crime for trying to steal undies. He then finds out that Asha has been living in the club's room as Rias finds a place for her to stay. She then forces Issei to get physically stronger, so she helps him with a new training regimen in the morning. Asha then arrives, and Rias explains that Asha will now be living at his place as Asha really wanted to live with him. At school, it's also revealed that Asha will begin attending the same school and be placed in Issei's class. She quickly attracts other classmates, including jealousy from Matsuda and Motohama. The following night, Issei decides to take on a job for Asha, and it turns out that a gigantic man wishes to turn into a magical girl. Unfortunately, he's unable to receive a pact, so he thinks over it during gym class, causing him accidentally sleep in the infirmary with Rias. Knowing Issei's lecherous desires, Rias offers her body to him in exchange for a pact. That night, Rias accompanies him on his next job, helping a foreign exchange student named Susan inside a samurai outfit to retrieve her notebook. She also requests help to attract her love. After the unusual meetup with her love, Issei successfully completes the job. He tries to get his reward from Rias but loses his chance when the other members arrive. Rias instead gives him a hug, shocking everyone.